That's no problem though, John. Plenty of space.
How do you live with the smell, Mike?
I don't, John. Well, it's in the shed, Jonathan. I don't live in it.
I find your presence offensive.
Yona, Matthew, big rotation. You talked about that ward to scout out the stacks. Nate's found him. Yona, he'll move in. They'll scan out, they know what's happening. Lilgun, they need to try and close the gap and get something done. Yona, though, he's pretty much got all the creeps anyway. Although that neutral item, oh, they've lost the neutral item. At least you get a neutral creep deny on Matthew. So no gold to go the way of Lilgun, but they lose a very valuable neutral item in the Possessed Mask. Arguably one of the best neutral items at level 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's been nerfed a bit, so the life steal isn't as insane, but it's still really helpful for something like your Monkey King here. So a nice little pickup from IAP, but I think losing the stacks is still a bigger pain point for Logan, right? Like, they still denied farm from the TA, although it doesn't feel like Sanctity needs that much catch-up farm. Like, the Dragonlance is almost done, the Desert's going to come through, the right click damage is going to be off the roof. And IAP are looking to pressure top now.
They are, but Inkswell not going to be able to land as the Nightmare was out from Ace 12. Yeah, Scott, he'll be fine with it. I mean, I think they just want to try and go after this top tier 1 tower now as IAP. I'm gonna say, you look back at the Ember right now, Yona's already got a Maelstrom going. That's concerning at 10.5 minutes in. You know, I realize he didn't really go for phase boots or anything like that, but this fast as a Maelstrom against the Broodmother, that's gonna be a lot of cold. In the meantime, though, big smoke up here from IAP. They're just kind of following the Spiderlings down as eventually Kishka does make his way in. I suppose you still get some gold here as the Spine Carapace is out. Kishka trying to turn back around onto this Ember. Now they've got the Orchid out on 423. Could be a little bit problematic for Yona, but it seems as though he can just wait out the duration. And in the end, does end up finding a regen rune anyway.
It's not the best use of the smoke. You still miss out on that kill opportunity on the Brood. Finally, TP out there for 423, but they've got the spikes here in IAP. Kimmel, he's got level 6 up, he's got Ravage, just ready to go, waiting for that opportunity, and this is where the lineup of IAP can get a bit scary. They have a little bit of their wombo combo going, they're ready to play with the Inkswell charge in. And there has been really good positioning out from our Bane though. Like, Ace 12 has just been able to cut off that movement so many times. I think you have to be a bit more cautious from IAP. You definitely need to find a good smoke angle, although Matthew...
Now they do find Matthew out on the Grimstroke, but he's not going to cough enough damage to die yet. In fact, they'll turn right back around onto Ace 12, and it seems like they've got him. Ace does go down. Yona
timings, your big win condition timings are still lining up. The Deso is almost done. And once you hit that, again, you can just run in, try to melt these heroes down. I just worry about what heroes you can melt. This Monkey King with Wukongs is going to be very tanky. The Timbersaw already has Vanguard, and he's going for a Lotus Orb, so the Plate Mail armor is in play as well. I don't think you're going to be able to physically burst down a lot of heroes. Maybe just focus in on the supports, perhaps the Ember as well if he's caught out. That's going to be the extent of it. So your heroes to target are sort of limited in IAP. They're still playing with the smokes here, still looking for opportunities. Very cautious play from Lilgun, though. Mike's hanging way far behind to ensure that they're not picked off.
Yeah, an Ace 12. He's going to be around to just break the smoke here. Tank the gank for the team. He will do so as Matthew does take the kill himself on the Grim. In the meantime, Kishka does now show himself in that next assassin, but Marv, he'll go for a bit of a chase here with Kimo. Impel is out, but it only lands on the Tide. And that should mean Kishka does eventually go down, and does, as Kimo is able to take the kill on the Tide Hunter. And with that, I mean, they could easily just push in this mid-tier 1 tower. So far for Lilgun, I mean, while they are farming very nicely on their TA and their Brood, in terms of objectives, they're not finding anything.
Yeah, they're not really able to push out. I don't think that's a massive issue. We have seen some Broodmother games go a bit slow for the first 20 minutes, and then once you're itemized at the 20 to 25 minute mark, that's when you're good to go. That's when you take these fights. Maybe perhaps having that quick protection on the Brood's going to really help. Maybe that Desolator, Blink, and maybe the BKB on Sanctity is also your spike you're looking for. So I think for Lilgun, it's a game of patience. You just have to hold back. Try to avoid taking too many losses on the ganks and keep having faith that the Broodmother and the TA will eventually carry you out here.
Yeah. Well, you do hit a very nice mid-game spike once you do have the Deso up, or maybe even just the Blink here on Sanctity. In the meantime, though, 423 does end up securing a kill onto Matthew, so you do get some action here from 423. Because regardless of how much impact the Brood has had, he has been doing his job. Just buying space for Sanctity as they do find another kill now. They've got the Timber. And with the Orchid, with the Fiend's Grip, it's going to be no problem whatsoever to take care of this kill. So another one that goes the way of 423.
Oh, I feel
They
better.
do hold a 1k net worth advantage here for Lilgun. IAP, I mean, sure, they've been finding kills, but in the end, still behind net worth. It is eventually going to fall apart if they can't get something done, as now the Tide has been jumped. Kimo is going to get stunned up. It's still fine, however, but 423, I thought he might go for a bit of a chase, but in the end, does decide to leave the Tide alone. It's not really worth his time and the risk. And instead, it's right back to farming. Well, I say that, Kimo, again going to be chased down, but now the Soul Mine is out from Matthew, and Escort is going to join the team. He is used up. Matthew, he might just die to Spiderlings right now. They just continue to chase him down, but Ace 12, he's also been caught out on that Bane. They'll find a 1-for-1 thus far as Kimo, he'll drop to boot by 11 on the Mars. They might even go for more now. Sile's out onto the Ember. He'll be fine with the Yules out. Yona, walk out, and there is 11. Will not connect the Spirit to Mars. Escort still trying to move forward, but looks like he's kind of running out of options now. He will try into 423, but again, they'll try to turn right back around onto the Timbersaw, but do they have enough damage? More heroes moving in to try and help out. They'll force out the Wukong's command, and they might find Kishka, or maybe not. The Nyx Assassin is still alive and still running, and looks like he might just make it. He's out of there. He's fine.
It's a bit messy for IAP. There were a lot of spells forced out from both sides. Lilgun still wins out in the end. They widen your lead to 3k. Surprised by the lack of dust on the side of IAP, and even lose Matthew again. So the burst damage is coming through now from Sanctity. Desolator up, Mike. That's when our TA can start ripping through a couple of these softer targets.
Yeah, I mean, he just two-shot Matthew, which definitely doesn't feel very nice, as they've even found the Ember now with the Fiend's Grip out from Ace 12. And I think Sanctity will have more than enough. One Melt Strike is all it takes. That's a 5-9 now, 4k net worth advantage for Lilgun. Their timing, we were kind of doubtful with no objectives being taken, but they're well and truly online now. They just put all their trust in their TA. And at this point, for IAP, they just gotta kind of weather out the storm a little bit.
Yeah, it's IAP's turn to play it a bit patient. You know, this is the 20 to 25 minute spike that we're kind of looking for from Lilgun. They hit the Deso timing, the TA hits hard. For the side of IAP, there are a couple of things we haven't seen from them. We haven't seen the Ravage from Kimo just yet. So we're lacking that big team fight combination with the Wukongs. We're lacking control. We don't really have the best points in Whirling Death as well from Escott. Has a pretty hard time clearing out the Spiderlings when they're right next to him. Although,
ready to drop towards the north. They have got Escott, but it's only 11. Never give up. He goes down. It's 4-2-3. Move it for more now. They'd love to get Escott. Nice nightmare cancellation on the chains. Eventually the speed covered on that. But with that many links, it's a problem for 4-2-3 to get through the HP pool of the Timber. For Roshan now. Why the hell not?
they could, but they have to worry about the Ravage. Respawns are fairly low. And they have the vision advantage here on Lilligan, on IAP with the Monkey Kings. They can always scout out Rush fairly easily with standing up. That does mean that Lilligan will play a bit safer. They do clear it out fast though. I mean, Desolator up with a Broodmother that should make short work of Roche. I think Lilligan understands that they don't necessarily need to be super high pressure right now. This is their power spike, but it's an early point for their power spike. So it's not like they're going to start dwindling away in the next 5 minutes. They've got like a 10-minute window where they're really, really strong. And IAP is the one that has to play in the back foot. So they can take their time here on Little Guns and keep working up. Maybe hit that blink timing now as Sanctity does have the BKB. And now they get the rollout.
They do. BKB up. Kimo is going to get spotted immediately. He needs to drop that Ravage, I think, right now, but the Spear is out. He'll still Ravage immediately, but there's no one to really help out. The Boundless Strike is there. Maybe they have enough. They've got 11 and they've got Kishka down, but they're going to lose Yona straight off the bat to Sanctity. So IAP, they might be happy with that one. They got a 2-for-1 trade. Ace-12 though, still trying to run. Lilligan, they'll try to help out with Sanctity, but Escott is still keeping the chase up and eventually will be able to find Ace-12. They might even find another. 4-2-3, still trying to fight on the Brood. In the end, all things being said and done, well, they're going to lose the tide. Regardless of that though, John, it does feel like IAP came out on top.
Yeah, they got bigger net for trade in the end. They managed to get some big kills. Dropping Yona is pretty big though. Like her Ember is kind of stalled out in itemization. I am surprised that the Yules is enough for him. You can see Kishka keeping that pressure up, playing with the info. There are TPs coming up. Lilligan could make this play here.
But they will. Impel does connect. Marv now to get back into that tree line, but the Orchid is there from 4-2-3. 11 right behind them to boot. Still Marv is playing games with the Jukes out, and now he's a tree. Still trying to juke them out the best he can, but eventually will understand that there is no way out. And while that was happening, John Sanctity has automatically just gone right into the Roshan pit and just gotten it started. Of course, IAP, they are well aware that this is happening, but it may not matter. Zescott, he tries to move in onto Ace-12, but now Yona gets caught out, or maybe not. He will be able to survive through it. The Lilligan, they still end up finding Matthew. They'll go right back into that Roshan pit.
And without the Ravage here on IAP, it's going to be very hard for them to zip in and steal that wave. Lots of damage coming out from Sanctity, so they do get to pick the first Roche, and now they can really seek to keep that pressure up.
Spear out. They've got Escott on the Timber. Escott has had the Lotus. Should be alright for now, but 4-2-3 wants to keep chasing him down. In the end, they will decide better of it. You've got to find that mid-tier 1 tower here if you're Lilligan. Yona, they'll be around to defend, almost ready to fight, but you're still going to be very afraid of Sanctity at the moment. Hell, even 4-2-3 has his full BKB up. Very kind of dangerous team fight to try and force here as IAP. Now Escott, a nice little impel dodge there with the Belt Strike, going to fly through. Lotus Allbound, the Ravage now, Kimo, a big Ravage. They might be able to turn this fight straight off the bat, but 4-2-3, he's not dying yet. Sanctity isn't either. They've got a Fiend's Grip right onto the Ember, and they'll be able to take Yona down. No problem, because Kishka somehow survives throughout all of this, gets an impel off, and Escott's going to drop. Really nice plays out from Lilligan as IAP are just lost for words right now. Kimo, he will try to run, but Sanctity is going to continue with the chase down. He does get taken down, and they've even got a Monkey sleeping in the tree line right now. They'll take him down too. Marv, he'll be the fourth to drop, and they're onto that T2 mid tower.
You're gonna be able to push in again with the damage output you have in Sanctity. Not much to scare them off. No Ravage anymore on Kimo, so there's no counterfight potential. And Matthew left alone. Last grab to be picked up.
He's going to try and delay this out the best he can, but in the end, Spear is going to land from 11. That'll be the end of him. So essentially a full team wipe in the end, if you want to count that last kill onto Matthew. But more importantly, John, a 9k net worth advantage here for Lil Gun. I realize they are still within their massive power spike, but considering how much of a net worth advantage they've got going, this power spike just may never end.
Yeah, they've got control of the maps. I think they can definitely shut down the farm patterns of IAP, and they're really, really starved on all your heroes. Marb, Yona, and Escott are all lagging significantly behind for Lil Gun, and they really need those items to come in. Like the Ember Ags has to be there. They're having issues with handling the Bane. I think that's their massive issue there, Michael. Out. So there are a lot of options for Lil Gun in the engagements, and whenever that grip comes out into Yona, there's just no way for Lil Gun to jump the back line and stop it. Like, the big issue is that the Ember just can't stand there. The Sword of Fist, spam out the Remnants, get damage out, because the control from Lil Gun on single targets is a lot stronger.
Westcott, he's going to be able to chain away. Lil Gun, however, they'll take that top tier 1 tower onto the top tier 2. You kind of wonder right now whether IAP can actually defend these tier 2s. I do think the answer is just no.
Dire's middle tower
This will be the final outer tower for Lil Gun to take. And they'll take it uncontested. There is nothing coming out from IAP. They respect the fact that they cannot fight confidently right now. But they may be forced to very soon. You've still got a minute and a half on this Aegis on Sanctity. And he wants to go for a tier 3 at the very least. Not going to take too long either with the Spiralings moving their way in, though. They do get kind of wiped out. It may not matter, though, because you've still got that massive hitting TA. Sanctity. We just keep chipping away slowly but surely.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
You wonder, though, do they go all the way for the barracks? Definitely a little bit risky here, but Sanctity, he does still have 50 seconds on that Aegis, so he might still have a chance. Or maybe they just TP and go after the Marb kill.
By them?
Kishka sets up and they just TP and get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Marb is just trying to find farm where he can. Just gets punished for it. They don't have the best vision to be defensive in the area for him to kind of bail out in the nick of time. They get the punishment out. At the least for IAP, they do manage to finish up some items. Ags up on Yona, so Ember can kind of zip in and out. I still worry about the grip. We've seen such good positioning from Ace 12 to get that control off. There's just still no counterplay here from IAP.
Oh, top lane, Escott, he cannot sustain himself through this damage output. Sanctity, he's got the full silver edge up now, so he's got the break, but what's more importantly, he's got the crit. It's too much damage to deal with. Aegis does expire, so they may decide to back, but it doesn't seem that way. It does seem like they want to go all the way for this.
Yeah, I mean, there's really to be worried about. Once Ravage is expended, you know you've got a lot of control in your hand. It's all about just positioning properly here on Lil Gun, ensuring that the Bane has a good angle for that long grip. And if you can get that off, you're pretty much set here on the side of Lil Gun.
You got the Ags up on the next assassin to boot, so Kishka now can be a real nuisance before this team fight really starts. They are chipping away, just trying, but Impel's there. Yona forced to Remnant immediately. The Soulbind is out. Kishka, no, he's gone too far. Getting a little bit greedy there to try and bury himself on the high ground. Does end up getting punished for it. In the end, they get the tier 3 tower, but that's about all they get. I mean, smoke out. 11, he'll get chains up. Yona, he'll move in, but the BKBs are there. 11 now, uses out on the Ember, into the Spear, and they've locked him down with the Fiend Grip again. Oh, Yona just playing 2 on the edge there, does get punished. There's now Lil Gun, they want to go for more. There's no buyback available on the Ember, so it's going to be a 4v4 scenario. Matthew goes down, making a 4v3, but a Ravage is there. Kimo going to try and turn, but there's no damage output. They literally have no damage. Escott's just gonna run Kimo gets taken out by Sanctity. And Escort, well, he's been caught here by 11. He'll keep trying to chain away. He might make it out, but eventually the Orchid does fly in, and that should be more than enough to get the job done. And it really does feel as though if you don't have that Ember Alliance, you're just not going to have any damage. They even outmapped you.
Truly sacrificed.
I think the one thing for IAP is that their execution is just falling flat, right? Like, they don't manage to use the Ravage in the way they want. They have Yona running in first instead of, say, the Timb. So every single time Yona comps that grip. In fact, this entire game, Yona's been the constant grip target throughout all the engagements. And you just need the Ember to stand back, to play tag with the Ags, play with a Remnant spam, play with a Sleight of Fist spam. It's just not coming through. I think IAP is being a bit gun-happy and jumping in, and Lilgun, with their patience and experience, are just holding back. They know how to play with the draft. They take the top set of racks. They're going to go for the mid just for a bit. They don't have the Aegis, but they've got this massive 17k lead, and they can just play it safe. Next Roche, we're going to find out in about 20 seconds when it's up. They could just play for the next Aegis and add Shard as well. And the map's like just completely shut out now for IAP. They need to keep the farm game up. They need to get even more on Yona, and I think at this point you want a lot more onto Marb. He does have the BKB up on the Monkey King, so you can stand forward and try to force out the grip onto him as well, but I don't know, it's just tough. Like, I think your big issue is still that Bane. Ace 12 with his positioning has been on point the entire run. And because of the lack of stunts on the supports of IAP, because their only real stun is Ravage and maybe Inkswell if you manage to time it right, stopping that grip is such a massive issue. Like, Ace 12 will always take out one hero and force it to be a 4 versus 5.
Sanctity top lane. I don't think he can kill Yona by himself, but oh, that's a lot of damage. Half his HP through just one side blades from Sanctity. Had that second one landed, you'd never know. Escort, he'll work on defending the mid lane, but he's going to be careful as Lilgun are hanging about, ready to pounce whenever they need to.
So beautiful.
Because IAP, they do need some farms to go their way. They are currently 18k net worth behind, so they desperately need the gold. Chains out, they've got Ace 12. That's the target they want to start with, but the Nightmare is going to be there into the arena, and Ace 12, he's still not going down. Yona, he's desperately trying, but he can't get it done. Feed Grip's up as well. Still Yona trying, but no, the Feed Grip is there now. Still, he does die to the Flame Guard, but they got the spear off in time. Kishik's going to impale to follow up. Do they have enough? Spike Carapace will be there, Yona. Now he'll survive. TP away. He's going to make it. Meanwhile, at the top lane, there was another chase happening from Lilgun. But they're unable to kill anyone off. So Lilgun instead will move into that mid-tier 3 tower. They'll just get it started like they did last time. Just let Sanctity get to work.
Yep. Slow chip from good distance. There is the threat of Ravage here from IAP, so not going to fully commit here from Lilgun. I think they understand without the Bane, it's a bit awkward. They will spot out the next Roche though, Mike. It is up. Sanctity will make his way in. Again, it's not going to take too long for Roche to fall down. IAP, I don't think they're in a position to contest Roshan. You have to keep playing high ground, surrender the Aegis, just kind of trying to find that angle in team fights. But with 2 lives on Sanctity, it just doesn't feel like an easy task. We even got the shard up on 423, so he's got the AoE Bola coming out now, and increased mischance. It's just so hard for them to leverage their damage here on the side of IAP. They're relying so much on the right clicks of the Monkey and the Ember to an extent that mischance is going to
Arena. It won't quite land. Not onto Escort, but they got the Impale anyway with the damage from our TA. It's going to be no problem for Sanctity to take down the Timber. Mind you, Escort, he does have buyback available, so he can come back in to try and defend this high ground. He may need to commit it.
Tower is under attack.
You've got Kimo with the Ravage, you've got him up with the Blink, so there's your buyback there from Escort. Kimo, he's looking for the initiation, but he is going to be unable to find it. So very split up here from Lilgun.
Has fallen.
Not giving the best opportunity here for Kimo. And that'll be it. So the buyback amounts to nothing.
Yeah, just, again, very patient from Lilgun. They know they've got the window of opportunity on their side. They don't have to rush it. They have a lot of time where they're strong. 24k lead. No easy ways for IAP to close that gap in net worth. And they're just slowly being chipped away. They even have a refresh up now on 11, so double arenas ready to go. They can just constantly force the fights now if they want to. And they're just keeping every lane shoved in. Maybe not the bot lane, that's not the most important lane right now. Mid and top are just constantly pressured in, so there's no room for IAP to run around and find farm elsewhere.
He's going to walk in. Very confident there with the Aegis up. But your range rack's gone. There's no way to defend this unless you just fully commit here from IAP. But again, so much hesitation right now. Skimo, he's waiting for that right moment. Thankfully, not afraid. He'll continue to just chip away and wait out his creep wave. They're trying hard to defend, but the arena's down now. Kimmo, who will eventually throw the Ravage out. It does connect with the 3 heroes, but nobody's dying quite yet. As Marv, he's been chased down. They've got Kimmo gone already, and now the refresh out from 11. He's got another. They've even got Escort down. Dieback immediately, would you believe it, John Yona? He gets caught by the Fiend script. That'll be it. Game 1 to go the way of Lil Gun. The IAP, they showed a few moments of brilliance, but in the end, Lil Gun just taking this game in convincing fashion.
Oh yeah, very strong performance out from Lil Gun. They get their comfort picks there. The TA and